Pompeii, 79 AD. On a tavern wall, someone carved, "I made bread." Below it, another person wrote, "Big deal." Everyone bakes bread, you attention seeker. Sound familiar? What if I told you that cancel culture, viral fame, political rants, and even thirst traps existed 2,000 years before Instagram? In the ruins of ancient Rome, archaeologists discovered over 11,000 pieces of graffiti. But these weren't just crude drawings. They were arguments, advertisements, love confessions, and trolling. One man advertised his business. Another rated the local bathhouse only 2 stars. Someone else posted election propaganda. The Romans had influencers, trending topics, and yes, even haters leaving mean comments. They didn't have Wi-Fi, but they absolutely had a social network. And it was brutal, brilliant, and surprisingly modern. How did ancient people go viral without the internet? Before we dive deeper, let's set the scene. Imagine you're a citizen in ancient Rome around the 1st century AD. You wake up not to notifications on your phone, but to the sounds of the city already buzzing with gossip, news, and scandal. Information traveled fast in the ancient world, but not through fiber optic cables. It moved through an intricate web of public spaces, strategic locations, and human networks that functioned remarkably similar to the algorithms we navigate today. The Roman Empire stretched across 3 continents, connecting millions of people who desperately wanted to share information, gain status, influence others, and yes, become famous. They needed systems to spread messages, build reputations, and stay connected to their communities. What they created was genius. From the walls of Pompeii to the bulletin boards of the Forum, from the bathhouses of Caracalla to the theaters of Athens, ancient civilizations developed their own versions of Facebook walls, Twitter threads, and Instagram stories. This isn't just a cute comparison. The parallels are disturbing and enlightening. The same human desires that make you scroll through your feed at 2 a.m. made Romans check the Forum daily. The same need for validation that drives people to post selfies made ancient citizens commission statues and graffiti. Today, we'll uncover the ancient social media platforms that dominated the classical world and discover that human nature hasn't changed one bit in 2 millennia. But here is the problem ancient societies faced. How do you communicate with thousands or even millions of people without technology? How do you make your voice heard in a world of noise? How do you go viral when the fastest transportation is a horse? For an ancient Roman, reputation was everything. Your social status determined your political power, business success, and even your survival. But unlike today, where you can tweet and instantly reach millions, ancient people had to be strategic, creative, and often aggressive to get attention. The stakes were actually higher. A damaged reputation couldn't be fixed with a new account. There was no delete button, no privacy settings. Once something was carved in stone or spoken in the Forum, it was permanent. This created intense competition for public attention. Politicians needed votes, merchants needed customers, gladiators needed fans, artists needed patrons. Everyone needed their message to spread further and faster than their competitors. And here is where it gets fascinating. They developed techniques that are identical to modern social media strategies. They created controversy to get attention. They used sex appeal. They paid for promotion. They formed networks of supporters who would amplify their messages. They even had the ancient equivalent of influencer marketing. But this system had a dark side. Just like today's social media, it could destroy lives, spread misinformation, radicalize populations, and manipulate elections. The same tools used to connect communities could tear them apart. The question wasn't just how to communicate, but how to control the narrative before your enemies did. Let me take you on a tour of ancient social media platforms. First stop, the album The Literal Whiteboard of Rome. Positioned in the Forum, these large wooden boards covered in white gypsum served as public notice boards. Government announcements, new laws, court verdicts, and upcoming events were posted here daily. Citizens gathered around the album every morning like we check our news feeds at breakfast. But the album wasn't controlled by the government alone. Wealthy citizens paid scribes to post advertisements. Political candidates posted campaign promises. People even posted personal messages looking for lost items or advertising rewards. Think of it as a combination of Twitter's trending page, Facebook Marketplace, and a government website all rolled into one physical location. Next, we have the bathhouses, the social media hubs of daily life. Romans didn't just bathe there. They networked, gossiped, and exchanged information. These were the coffee shops where influencers held court. Politicians would strategically visit specific bathhouses to be seen by the right people. Philosophers gave TED Talks in the exercise yards. Scandals spread faster in the baths than in any other location. But the most fascinating platform, graffiti. Not the modern spray paint kind, but carefully carved or painted messages on public walls, especially in high-traffic areas. Pompeii's preserved graffiti reveals an entire social network frozen in time. People tagged their favorite gladiators like we tag celebrities. They wrote reviews of local establishments. They declared their love publicly. One inscription reads, "Marcus loves Spendusa." Below it, someone else wrote, "Marcus is a fool." They even had ancient memes. Repeated phrases and jokes appeared across different walls, spreading through the city like viral content. The same insults, the same political slogans, the same crude drawings appearing everywhere, shared and reshared by hand instead of by retweet. Now here's where it gets intense. In 63 BC, a crisis emerged that would test this ancient social network to its limits. A senator named Catiline organized a conspiracy to overthrow the Roman Republic. How was this plot discovered and defeated? Through ancient social media. The consul Cicero didn't have surveillance technology or wiretaps. He had informants, strategic leaks, and public relations mastery. He went to the album and the Senate, making the conspiracy public. He delivered speeches that were copied by scribes and distributed throughout Rome within hours. His words spread through the bathhouses, markets, and dinner parties. He controlled the narrative before Catiline could respond. Cicero's speeches against Catiline became ancient Rome's first viral content. Copies were made and sent to other cities. People memorized key phrases and repeated them. The conspiracy collapsed not primarily through military force, but through information warfare. Cicero weaponized the social network. But this victory revealed something terrifying. Whoever controlled the narrative controlled reality. Cicero's version of events became history, but modern scholars question how accurate it was. Did he exaggerate the threat? Did he manipulate public fear for political gain? Sound familiar? The same tools that saved the Republic could destroy it. Political graffiti became vicious. Attack ads carved in stone targeted candidates with lies and rumors. Anonymous accusations destroyed reputations. The social network that connected Rome also polarized it. By the time Julius Caesar crossed the Rubicon decades later, the Roman social media landscape had become so toxic, so divided, that compromise was impossible. The Republic fell not just to armies, but to information chaos. So what happened to ancient social media? It never disappeared. It evolved. The album became the printing press, which became the internet. The bathhouse networking became coffee houses, which became LinkedIn. The graffiti became forums, which became comment sections. Today, when archaeologists translate those 11,000 Pompeii inscriptions, they're reading posts from people who died 2,000 years ago, but sound exactly like us. I was here. I love this person. This politician is corrupt. This business is great. You're all idiots. The medium changed. The message didn't. The lesson isn't that technology is the problem. Romans proved you can have toxic discourse, viral misinformation, and political polarization with just walls and chalk. The problem is us. Our need for attention, validation, and tribal belonging is hardwired. It built civilizations and destroyed them long before Mark Zuckerberg was born. But here's the twist that should make you pause mid-scroll. Despite all this drama, ancient social networks also preserved poetry, documented daily life, gave voice to the voiceless, and connected communities. Slaves who couldn't write official documents left their names in graffiti, refusing to be forgotten. Their posts survived empires. That teenage girl who carved "I was here in Pompeii," we're still reading her message. She went permanently viral. The question isn't whether we should have social networks. Humans will always create them. The question is, what will your posts say about you in 2,000 years? Will future archaeologists excavate our digital ruins and find wisdom or just noise? Connection or just performance? Here is what I want you to think about. If you could leave one message that would survive 2,000 years, what would you carve in stone? Drop your answer in the comments. I'm genuinely curious what you think is worth making permanent in a world of disappearing posts. If this video changed how you think about your phone, hit that like button. It helps more people discover that history isn't boring, it's just us in different costumes. And subscribe, because next week we're uncovering the ancient equivalent of cryptocurrency. And trust me, it is going to blow your mind when you realize the Romans already figured out Bitcoin as biggest problem. Also, tell me in the comments, what other modern technology do you think has an ancient equivalent? Gaming? Dating apps? Streaming services? Challenge me. I'll research it. Thanks for watching. Now go scroll through your feed, but maybe think about those Romans first. They'd probably love Instagram, and they'd definitely be arguing in your comment section.